All right, folks, let's review since the last time we got together a year ago. Since then, your investments have tanked. You probably haven't had a raise of any kind, and I bet half the stores you shopped at last holiday season now have plywood in front of them. Clearly, we need some new strategies for buying the right tech at the right price in the right places. I'm Brian Cooley, and this is the kickoff of this year's CNET Holiday Best Deals 2018 show. We're here in San Francisco, we being myself and my colleague Lexi Savitas here and holding down the headquarter. Hello, Lexi.
Hi, Brian.
Here we are, ready. you're all festively dressed in holiday red.
matching.
It's perfect. And green behind you.
Ta-da.
That's ideal. And for the next 60 minutes or so, it's going to be the two of us, but not just the two of us. We're also going to bring in our favorite, most trusted CNET editors from around the horn as well.
We definitely have. We've got a few special guests joining us live on the line. First up, we have Mr. Cheapskate himself, the man with all of the deals, live from Detroit, Michigan, Mr. Rick Broider. Hi, Rick.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on today.
It's so good to have you on the line. And of course, from our New York studios, we have the man with the TV reviewing know-how, the guru of all things television, Mr. David Katzmeyer.
Woohoo!
And we have, I like it. We can just continue doing the salutes for a little while. I enjoy that. Very nice work. And we have our laptop guru, Mr. Dan Ackerman, of course. Hi, Dan.
What? Oh, hello. What?
Of course, Dan's got the liquor behind him,
yeah.
so he's easy to spot. He's my friend.
We were also supposed to have Mr. Scott Stein, our phone and tablet expert, on the line. He has unfortunately been waylaid by the snow in New York, so we won't have Scott today. But I think, Dan, you and I think we can cover some of his picks, right?
I think we're going to do a good job. And Scott throwing his back out shoveling snow is what happens when everybody you work with is 100 years old.
I told him, I said, couldn't you have done that virtually with some VR gear? It's like, pick up a shovel. Who does that anymore? Okay, so it's not just the bunch of us, the Jolly Neapolitans. It's also going to be you. That's the most important part of this show, so let's get to it. I want you to call now, 888-900-CNET, 888-900-2638, or join us via Twitter. Just use the hashtag CNET Live. Tweet your question. We'll see it show up in the feed. Lexi's watching the Twitter stream right now to make sure we catch all those questions as they come in. Don't be shy. We're trying to save you money and get you the right tech. We're here for you, not to hear ourselves talk. We talk tech every day. This is to bring you in the mix. Make sure you get the right thing, and make sure you don't buy like the next 3D TV or something wonky like that. So let's get to it.
In fact, anyone who does call us or tweet on the hashtag CNET Live today goes in the running to win a whole bevy of prizes. Like, just take a look at some of the things that we have in store for you here. We've got Bluetooth speakers, we got dash cams, we have drones, like so much stuff. So you go in the running to win one of those things. But that's not all. There is one other big surprise that you can win. Now, you can need to go to cnet.com/HP giveaway. Kind of gives away that we're giving away an HP Spectre X360 laptop. So if you want to win that, that is a separate entry. You need to go to that website and enter. So cnet.com/HP giveaway. And you have until November 30 to get your entries in. So you can call us, you can tweet us right now, and then after the show, head along and enter at that link.
That's a nice machine. Really nice machine. Great one to give or to get, or just to keep for yourself. Now, let's get down to business. Let's face it, we all want great deals. We can find the tech in a lot of places, but finding it at the best price is so critical these days. So let's bring in the cheapest person we know, and I say that in a loving, caring way. Rick Broider has been tracking and posting Black Friday and Cyber Monday, not for a day or two, not for a week, not since Halloween. You've been on this since like midsummer, tracking the holiday buys. Is that right, Rick?
No, I'm sorry, you're wrong, Brian. I've been on this 365 days a year, all year round.
I told you he's the cheapest guy I know in a caring way.
Yeah, and I just want to say, if anybody wins that TIE fighter drone back there, I've got the X-Wing, so let's dogfight.
All right, so give us a couple ideas, just a teaser. We're going to come into you throughout the day as we go to categories here throughout the hour. Any couple things that are bubbling up in your mind right now in terms of the trends that are happening with this year's deals?
For sure. I think TVs are kind of the big story as far as deals go this year, and I've actually got a TV deal coming up very shortly to share with everybody. But everywhere I look, I feel like I'm seeing just like unbeatable prices on some TVs, high end and low end alike. So if you're gearing up for the Super Bowl or whatever it is, this might be the time to grab that big screen.
Okay, good. That's always a big winner because it's a good gift for the family. I mean, TVs are a perennial when it comes with what's going on around the holiday shopping thing. And do we also have another special deal you've got going on here with an LG OLED and an Echo?
Yeah, so let's talk about that LG real quick. I know, David, I think this is probably one of your favorites. The LG OLED TVs are widely regarded, I think, as some of the best on the market right now. And we've got a pretty sweet deal going. This is a 65-inch LG OLED TV that sells for $2,500 just about everywhere. Through our exclusive deal with Daily Steals, we're saving $200 on that TV. Is literally the best deal on this model that you can find anywhere right now, just for you folks, you CNET viewers.
That's big. That is a great price. It wasn't that long ago when we were excited that a TV like that was maybe listed at $6,000. Now with erosion in the market and then the special deal we've got, this is coming down to like normal TV pricing. OLED used to be so rarefied. Okay, so thank you. We're going to come back at you in a moment here, Rick. I want to head over to New York now and check up with Dan Ackerman. Dan's my man when it comes to laptops. And while so many other tech devices get a lot of the limelight, the new form factors of phones, folding is suddenly on the horizon. Voice devices got to have everyone agog. But the laptop keeps staying in there. Everybody still has a laptop. This has been such a durable category.
Still needs one.
Everyone still needs one, right? So you're going to have a home run if you give one. Where do you direct people big picture these days, Dan?
I'm going to say very quickly, I was hoping that discount on that TV wasn't too big because I just bought that one. It's I call it the midlife crisis TV because every 40-something Brooklyn dad I know just bought that 65-inch LG OLED.
It's like a flat Porsche 911. Yeah.
$47 off. Sorry, not just $200. $247.
Oh,
sorry,
that's
just
it.
made it worse for you.
You're killing Ackerman.
I couldn't wait. I had to have it. And I also have to have, if I did not have a laptop and I was going to go buy one, I would consider the latest version of Apple's MacBook Air, which has been pretty much the most popular laptop in the world for about 10 years now. You can't go anywhere. Coffee shops, airport lounges, college campuses, and not see a whole bunch of Airs. But frankly, they've been getting a little long in the tooth. I don't have an old one with me right here, but the screen was bad. The keyboard was old. It was really kind of bigger and heavier than a lot of newer laptops because they hadn't updated that design in 6 or 7 years. Brian's bringing me one right now. Let's take a look. Oh, a classic, an oldie but goodie. But look at that. It's got this big silver border here. Yeah. It's just not a modern feeling laptop anymore. So what Apple did was they finally, after years of everybody begging for it, they got the new one right here. This is the new MacBook Air. Looks kind of like the MacBook Pro. It's got a much better screen than the old one. Obviously a new keyboard, bigger touchpad. It's thinner. It's lighter. There's just one catch, because there's always a catch.
No ports?
There's two catches.
Yeah, ports. Yeah. Hello.
You got a couple of USB ports, but it's also more expensive. The MacBook Air was famously the $999 laptop, and any college student could maybe save up for a couple months and get themselves a $999 MacBook Air that could last them, through 4 years of college. Now it's $1199, and that one kind of hurts. At $999, it would be an instant must-buy, no questions asked. At $11, you got a lot of competition, but I still think they did a very nice job with this long-awaited refresh.
Well, look, at least it still has a headphone jack. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it still has a headphone
It's the only
jack.
Apple product that
They
still
gave
has
us
a
that.
headphone
There we go.
Yeah.
We got that. Anyway, so let's switch tack to TVs. Now, we've been relying on Katz for around 15 years now for his no BS take on what TV to buy. Now, David, I want to kind of tap into the latest here. What do you recommend?
So I'll start with the TV that really impressed me this year for being really inexpensive, but still having a great picture. We review a lot of TVs that are, spectacular, high-end models. We also review some that are kind of junkers. This Vizio E-Series this year, they really hit the sweet spot in terms of picture quality for the money. Not quite as good of a picture as my very favorite TV. I'll tease that. That's going to be talked about a little bit later. But this one is insanely inexpensive. Let me tell you, for the 43-inch, it's $310 right now. The 65 is $630. That's the 65-inch you see there on our video. That's the one I reviewed, and it goes all the way up to 75 inches. So this series has full array local dimming, which is the feature in an LCD TV that really improves the image quality. It's the thing where, the behind the screen, there's these LEDs they can turn on and off depending on the brighter or dimmer parts of the picture. And it is a truly big improvement in image quality to have on these TVs. And this is basically the cheapest TV on the market with that feature. Vizio does a really good job of making that work really well. This TV is also compatible with 4K, HDR, Dolby Vision, all that stuff for, again, a TV that starts at $310. So the Vizio E-Series, actually, the big sale started today, coincidentally enough. All around, just look at Best Buy. Their prices are live right now for these prices. They're as good as they're going to get for the buying season. So, again, if you're looking, you're a home theater guy, you really want that picture quality to be as good as it can be for, very little money. Start with the Vizio E-Series.
Okay,
Cheapskate
now let's
approved.
Yeah, right. Totally cheapskate approved. With prices like that, I thought I was hearing it wrong. It's like, how much? All right, so Dan, let's go to you for a tablet now. Right related to the notebook category, a lot of folks are saying maybe it's time now that I move from a notebook to a tablet and try and make it do what the tablet or what the notebook has always done. Are we there, or are they still two separate categories as you would advise a shopper?
Easy answer. They are two separate categories still. Occasionally people come around and say, oh, a tablet, that's just as good as a laptop. It's the same thing. They're really not. Apple even has this commercial with a little girl working on her iPad, and somebody comes by and goes, oh, what computer is that? And she says, what's a computer? Which I didn't buy thematically. But that being said, sometimes you still want a tablet. They're great for watching movies. They're great for reading ebooks or e-comic books even. There's a lot of things you could do with a tablet. The basic iPad, the new 2018 version of that, is frankly the best all-around deal in this category because it does almost everything fancier things like the iPad Pro do, but it costs a heck of a lot less, and they've done just enough updates to it to make it really worthwhile. I think it's usually $329. I bet you'll be able to find it for $250 or so around Black Friday/holiday time at a whole bunch of different stores. And the big addition this year is that it has added pen support. So the Apple Pencil that previously only worked with the iPad Pro now works with the regular plain old 9.7-inch iPad, which makes it a much more functional machine. And if you want to do cool stylus stuff and drawing and sketching, you're all hooked up now.
Okay, so straight up iPad is a winner, and with that pencil technology, feels more modern than you're just buying another tablet.
It's not just another iPad because those last for a long time, and you go, what do I need to upgrade for?
That's the problem.
Now you actually have a reason.
Yep.
Sounds good. Well, let's jump into some of our viewer questions on CNET Live hashtag and also on the phones. We have a lot of people calling in, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. Don't forget to tweet us at CNET Live and give us a call at 888-900-CNET. Let's cross to our first question now from Joseph from Ohio. Has a question for us about the Apple iMac. Hello, Joseph. Welcome to CNET Live. You are on the air. What's your question?
Yeah, hello. How are you guys today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So what did you want to ask us about the iMac? You had a very specific question.
I do. Would you recommend a person to buy an iMac even though the iMac hasn't been updated this year in 2018?
That's a great question. Let's throw that one to Dan. I think that's
that is a good question. Apple tends to follow their own schedule in terms of updating products. The iMac, that's the all-in-one desktop computer with the big screen, has not gotten a processor upgrade this year, but it did last year. So it's not really that far out of date. If you want to do basic, web surfing, email, watch movies, not really playing games, that's not really a Mac thing, but, basic Photoshop and things like that, it's still fine. Those 7th gen Intel processors in there now are perfectly good. Will they update it next year? Probably. Will it be a generation behind in processors by then? Probably. If you want to go absolutely bonkers, there's something called the iMac Pro, which is, you can tell the difference because it's in a darker space gray and costs like $5,000. And that's the super fancy version of the iMac from last December. So that is very up to date. It's got a different class of processor in it. So if you're a super professional who's doing like, 4K video editing and like professional level stuff like that, you could get an iMac Pro, but basic one, I think they're fine. They're not that out of date.
Aren't processors so brawny now, Dan, that unless you're really flexing them, you're in good shape?
Entirely correct. And almost all of the advances in the last several years have really been more in battery life and efficiency than raw power, which again, you don't really need because almost anything you do, you can also do on a Chromebook, which is basically just a web browser.
Sounds good. Well, hope that answered your question, Joseph. Thank you so much for calling. And you go in the running to win all of those amazing prizes. Make sure to enter the giveaway to win that HP laptop too. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. All right. Thank you so much. That was Joseph calling there. And now let's switch to the CNET Live hashtag. We've got so many questions coming in. Let's take a look at a couple of them now. Let's take a look at this one from Thomas. What is the best TV for under $400 with the best quality picture? Preferably good for gaming. Cats, this one screams you all over. What do you think?
Ooh, that's a lot of demands
that's
there.
A softball, though, because I mean, I got to say that TV that I just talked about, the 43-inch Vizio E series, would be the one that I'd choose. Again, it's right in that price range. It's $310. So look, you save $90. Or you can step up to the 55-inch for $430. Now, gaming is one of these things where what you care about is input lag. So that's between the controller and the screen, reacting to that. There's lag built into all TVs. If they have fancy processing and all this stuff, it increases it. A lot of guys have game mode now. The game mode on the Vizio that I tested was about 25 milliseconds, which is really, really short, great input lag. And of course, the set looks really good with the full array local dimming. So I'd go for the Vizio E series 43-inch and save a bundle there, $310.
So, Katz, it sounds like one thing you want to do with whatever TV you buy is to find out if it does have a game mode that will basically take out a lot of the processing and make it a little more of a straight shot from your console to the display.
Yeah, and a lot of the the TVs now, if they're a little more expensive, they have really good game modes in there because they have a lot more processing. But the cheap TVs like this Vizio, they don't have too much processing to begin with. So, again, they're not going to build in that much input lag. But all the manufacturers now are putting in game modes. Even with 4K HDR, there's a whole different set of processing to bypass when doing 4K gaming. So, that's actually one of the newer advances in TVs, and keep an eye on it because we test it here at CNET.
Sounds good. Should we take one more call?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do one more call. Sue from Minnesota has a great question about the iPhones. Hi, Sue. You are on the air. Welcome to CNET Live. Hi. Great to have you on the show.
Hey, I read the review on Instagram about the iPhone XR, and wondering if that's still the best phone for an iPhone to get. And then the second part of that is, how do you figure out what the best network is?
Oh, this is a great question, Sue. Let's tackle the first part of that. So the 10R obviously is not quite the most expensive iPhone that you can get. That is the 10S and the 10S Max. And when it comes to performance, let's chat a little bit about how it feels to use. Dan, I want you to sort of chime in here with your thoughts too on the 10R versus the 10S. What are your thoughts on kind of like how it feels to use both of the phones? Is there one that kind of suits a better use case more than the other?
Yeah, the 10R, or a lot of people call it the XR, and I'm not going to correct him because, wisdom of crowds and all that. I feel like it's 90% as good as the full price 10S, but it's less than 90% of the price. So that makes a lot of sense to me. It's got the design that looks like the other ones. Just the screen is not an OLED screen. It's a regular LCD screen.
Not an OLED.
But the ultimate mainstream ability test of the 10R is that my mother just ordered one, and she is very thrifty, but likes good technology, and is very cautious about what she buys. So the fact that she called me up and said, "I'm about to hit buy on a 10R," just making sure that's the right move, and she had already decided. That shows you that's the mainstream phone to get this year. That's the value play that you're not going to be disappointed with.
Totally agree. And Sue, another thing to remember is that the 10R and the 10S actually share the same rear camera, at least the wide angle lens. So the photo and video quality is going to be pretty much exactly the same. So you're getting a really good camera for a lot less, as Dan said. But the question about the cellular connectivity is really interesting because I guess it really depends on where you live. The big question about where you are in the US depends on, what network is going to suit your needs. Brian, do you have thoughts on this?
Yeah, the thing that's hard about that, Sue, is there are some things going on that are very hard for us to put into a review because they're localized and they're not even that obvious for us to unearth. Different carriers, or the same carrier, will use different radio waves in different metro areas based on what they've licensed from the government. So they aren't like on the same FM frequency in every city, if you want to put it that way. They use different frequencies in different cities, and they also have different levels of coverage. Coverage matters to speed. It's not just whether you have data or not. Better coverage means you will have more robust connectivity, and that will allow greater bandwidth, and that's what you're looking for in speed. So start with a coverage map. You can look at the coverage map of any major carrier, go to their site, just Google like Sprint or T-Mobile or Verizon coverage map.
Yep.
Start with good coverage. First, good coverage is your ground support for getting good speed, although it doesn't exactly tell you that. And then beyond that, the most important thing is to talk to people who hopefully in your area who've all got each different carrier, hopefully all on a modern phone, because phones can slow you down, and then say, hey, who's having great results? And the one that swears the least probably has the best speed. Everyone's going to have issues with it. It's wireless. Wireless is always wonky in the real world. 5G is looking to address that, but Verizon gets a lot of kudos for its speed. That's an old saw from way back, but it's one that they've earned over the years, I got to say, in my experience.
Okay. Well, they're getting a lot of press these days with everybody I've talked to, so I'm just wondering if that's really true.
I don't think you'll go wrong. Let's put it that way.
Coverage and speed.
But T-Mobile is also doing some really aggressive stuff with speed on their network as well. So they're another good choice that a lot of folks often didn't think of because they are sort of in the second tier below Verizon and AT&T. But a lot of good stuff coming out of T-Mobile, and of course AT&T has always had a good network. So it's very local. So ask people and look for good coverage on those maps.
Yeah, and any points on the 5G network that's supposed to be coming out?
Nothing to worry about. You need to wait for your current phone you're going to buy to get tired, and in about 18 months or 2 years, then 5G will be really well debugged and out there. There are no 5G phones on the market yet. I don't think we'll see any until mid next year because the spec upon which they would design them internally isn't even approved yet. That's expected in June of next year. Then the factories can start making them. This is a 2020 story, so you're good on a 4G phone for now.
Hope that helps, Sue, and thank you so much for calling.
Thanks, Sue.
Thanks. Bye.
Great. Thank you.
Ooh, we got a lot going on here, don't we? Good calls, and thanks for getting on the Twitter with the questions. The Twitter, listen to me like I just discovered. The Twitter, like I'm a millennial. The Twitter. Okay, let's talk about headphones now. Headphones are a perennial gift for a lot of people around the holiday season because they come in a lot of different price points, and everybody uses them at this point in history, right? So let's hear now from the guy with the golden ears. First of all, about what the best things are to think about sound-wise here. David Carnoy has got a look here for some of the best headphones. He's our guy who knows about listening like nobody else.
I'm David Carnoy for CNET.com, and I've got a few top holiday headphone picks for you. Let's start with the popular premium noise canceling category, where in the past Bose has dominated, but this year I gave the Editor's Choice Award to the Sony WH-1000X Mark III. Sony tweaked the design of the Mark III, and it's now right there with the Bose in terms of comfort. It delivers excellent sound and noise canceling, is loaded with features, and has strong battery life. Its only downside is that, well, it's expensive at $350. The Bose Quiet Comfort 35-2 remains a good choice in this category, but the Sony is just a little bit better right now. My second pick is the Jabra Elite Active 65T. They're a set of truly wireless earphones that compete with Apple's AirPods. Not only do they fit some people's ears more securely than the AirPods, but they also sound better because they have a noise isolating design that doesn't let sound leak in like the AirPods Open design does. I'm also a fan of Plantronics' new in-ear noise canceling neckband style headphone, the Backbeat Go 410. They're a little like Bose's Quiet Control 30 headphones, but cost a lot less and can plug into in-flight entertainment systems with a headphone cord that connects to its USB charging port. They're a good everyday headphone that features good sound and good noise canceling. Moving on to my budget pick, the Tribit X-Free Tune. It may not be as comfortable as a Bose or Sony headphone, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a better sounding or better built full-size Bluetooth headphone for $50. As far as sound goes, it really does measure up to headphones that cost a lot more. If none of those models sounds enticing, I've got plenty of others to choose from in our full gift guide. These days, there's no shortage of headphones, and we'll be covering all the best ones here at CNET. Thanks for watching.
Always trust Carnoy on headphone results. This guy is so thoughtful and so careful about headphones, which is great because they're so subjective. You need someone who really puts a lot of thought and has a lot of breadth of experience with them, and Carnoy's great at that. Now let's find you some deals. Now, Rick, headphones come in a wide range of prices from deep into the hundreds to like 50 cents. Those ones they get free on the airlines. They obviously are making those for like 10 cents if they can afford to give them away. What do you got for some deals, hopefully somewhere between those two poles?
This is an in-ear noise isolating headphone, earphone, I should say, from One More, and it's called the Quad Driver. And as everybody knows, quad means 4, and 4 is better than 3 or 2 or 1. So you got 4 drivers inside this little thing. And this is a THX certified product. So if you really love your ears, like you want to treat your ears, this is the thing to get. These normally run $199, but as an exclusive for everybody who's watching today, we have these at $129, and that is, I think, the lowest price I've seen on this product. And you know, as I said, if you want to splurge a little bit and get something that's really special, I like these a lot.
That's good to know. I mean, I got to tell you, I've always been underwhelmed by earbuds. You know, I'm looking for, I'll see phrases about, deep bass response, and they rave about how rich and robust the sound is, and they just never strike me that way. They always sound thin, but of course I use a lot of over-the-ear headphones, so I'm setting a high bar. So I'd be curious. I might have to try a pair of these. It sounds like they've got some multi-driver technology that might really make them deliver some real breadth and depth of sound, versus being kind of like a better version of a cell phone call earbud. All right, thank you for that. And now,
what is 4?
4 is better. 4 is better than 3, and better than 2, better than 1. I like that, how we learned that. That was good. Carnoy just mentioned, of course, you can find all of our CNET gifts at the CNET Holiday Gift Guide, which is cnet.com/holiday gift guide. Really easy. Everything from $25 to $500 and up. We have a lot of inexpensive gifts. We always make sure we cover off on that, because these days, the way electronics trends, some of the best gifts are under $100. They're not cheap gifts. They just happen to be cheap. And that's what's so great about this sector. Plus all the current deals we can find, and it's all updated daily. This is not something we publish for the holiday and we're done. Every day we're putting up new deals and new price updates there. Again, just search CNET Holiday Gift Guide or go to cnet.com/holiday gift guide. But now let's get right back to taking some calls and some tweets. Lexi, who you got teed up?
We got so many people on the line waiting, so thank you so much for your patience. We'll try and get to as many as we can. Let's cross, though, to Chadwick from Kansas City, who has a question about the new iPad Pro. Hello, Chadwick.
Hey guys,
welcome
how's it going?
to CNET Live. Really good. What's your question?
So you were talking about the iPad, but Apple's now touting the new iPad Pro, and I was just trying to figure out, is it really worth the extra money to go to the Pro, or was the 2018 version you were recently talking about just as good to go with?
Great question. Let's throw this one to Dan in New York.
I mean, they're for different people. They call it the Pro because they're saying, oh, professional artists and professional designers are going to like this. I mean, frankly, they did a really nice job redesigning the iPad Pro this year, because they've gotten rid of the home button. It's now all screen, almost like an iPhone 10. So it's really arresting looking, and I like that a lot. And obviously the screen is great and it's more powerful. But unless you're doing the types of things that really require that extra power, that extra screen, the extra resolution, the access to high-end accessories like the really expensive keyboard you can get with it, I still think that a regular 9.7-inch everyday iPad that, again, is going to be about $250 from a lot of places this holiday season is a better overall product for more people, especially because if you just had stylus envy, you can use the Apple Pencil with it now. So it still gets my vote. That said, the new Pro is pretty sweet looking.
Hope that helps you make your decision a little bit more easily, Chadwick. Thank you so
Yes.
much for calling.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Thanks so
it.
much. And you go in the running to win all of those amazing prizes. So let's grab another call now. I think we'll switch to Melissa from Miami. So she is calling in and asking, is there a headphone for running? Hello, Melissa. Come in. You're on CNET Live. Can you hear me? Hello, Melissa.
She's in a snowstorm.
Hi, hello.
Hi. You're on CNET Live. You're live on the air. What's your question?
Hi, I have a question regarding the headphones you guys were talking about. Is there a preference, functionality-wise and maybe comfort-wise, for a runner, for someone who runs marathons and who's training for one?
That's a great question. I think the big thing I found when I am using headphones or earbuds for running, I mean, it depends. Are we talking headphones? Do you want that over-ear feel or you want the earbuds? Obviously, for me, earbuds are much more preference when running.
Point. I mean, I guess, right.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing is with earbuds is that it's really a question of the fit and how much of the sound isolation that you want to get in or out. So say, for example, if you're running with something that's an in-ear earbud and it's isolating all of the sound, it's probably not the best idea, even though the music will sound amazing if you're not really hearing a lot of the external sound, especially when you're running. If you think about things like safety, obviously I like to have a little bit more of an open design. I find sort of say ones from Bose, like the SoundSport Wireless, are quite good on that respect. But then again, if you want more of an isolation sound, you might want to go for something like the Beats X. Rick, what about those headphones? Have you tried those out for running or anything and found that they kind of had what's the sort of sound isolation like there?
Yeah, I actually don't care for a sound isolating earbud when I'm running because I find that I hear my footfalls like bum, bum, bum as I'm running, and I don't care for that. I was going to mention the AfterShokz. I don't know if you've tried those at all. There's the AfterShokz Trex and the AfterShokz Air. And that is, of course, AfterShokz with the less common Z spelling at the end, not an S. So those have exactly what you're talking about. They're bone conduction, and so they kind of rest right here. And you can hear ambient noise as you're running, but you also get really good sound. And they're not cheap, and they rarely go on sale, but that's what I like to run with.
I hope that helps answer your question a little bit, Melissa. And good luck with the marathon. Thanks so much.
She's
Are you in the marathon
okay,
right
thanks,
now?
Melissa.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Melissa.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye. Okay, so let me reveal some of my picks for the person who's into giving gifts to the driver, whether it's a driver who loves driving as a sport, as a passion, or the person who spends a lot of time in their car just because they got a long damn commute. First off, I don't think you can go wrong this year with a dash cam. In fact, one of the gifts that we have in our giveaway, the stack that we're seeing there behind us, is going to include some Vantrue dash cams. You see one there in the red box. That sort of hexagonal tube-looking thing, or here it is here in the box. Vantrue makes some really interesting dash cams. The latest one, which is one of those we're giving away, which is called the OnDash T2, includes microwave sensor technology, so when the car is parked, the camera is looking out to find motion. It's a motion detector through glass, and it'll start recording when some rat bastard comes up to vandalize your car. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't just wait for a bump or a collision, which a lot of dash cams do. Another one I want to show you here on my monitor is from Pioneer, and it's called the ND DVR 100. This one is pretty basic. It records in HD, and it stamps the clips with GPS coordinates so you know where it was recorded. Not all dash cams do that. It's about $108, good price. What I like about it is it's a name brand, Pioneer, even though they're close to bankruptcy right now, but they're still a name brand. And it integrates nicely in your windshield. As you can see, if you look at the design of that, it doesn't just hang down on some nasty suction cup. It adheres to the glass kind of like a factory-forward camera. This is a very slick solution for the person who doesn't want a lot of dreck in their car. Now, if you move away from dash cams, again, they're very affordable. Everyone's going to use them. That's my home run. The other way to go is to look at giving someone a new car stereo, or as we call them today, a head unit. Here's one from Sony that is their newest one. It's called the XAV AX1000. It is CarPlay. All the usual media choices, no CD, of course. And this one is only $300 list. I'm seeing it for about $250 or so street. If you want that to have CarPlay and Android Auto, you go to one called the XAV AX200, and that one has both platforms, and it lists at $500. Again, you'll find better street prices. Or if you want to go check out something from Pioneer, their 1300 NEX is CarPlay only. I bring up Pioneer because Sony, in my experience, has had some buggy issues with phones staying connected to the head unit that I think is still frustrating, although the latest unit should have worked that out. And if you want a Pioneer that has both CarPlay and Android Auto, Apple and Android in other words, you go to the 2300 NEX. List on that only $319. That might be the odds-on winner right there. That's an Amazon price, I should say, but still, that's a really good price. All of these fit into what's called a double-din unit, which is a very standard, kind of a tall car stereo. Know that they require installation, and that's going to be some additional cost or some elbow grease if you or your recipient knows how to do it. But that will utterly modernize an older car.
Sounds good. And I'll reveal what I am recommending very, very shortly. But before then, Rick, do you have any more deals to share with us?
Oh, I do. So first, let's talk about home security. Canary makes a really cool home security camera called the All-in-One. And so more than just the usual video feed and motion detection, this thing also has an air quality sensor and a temperature sensor and a siren. So it will actually function as an alarm. So it's pretty cool. And you can get the Canary All-in-One and a year of monitoring service. So it really is kind of the whole deal, the whole home security deal for $149. Now, normally that bundle would run you $268. So this is a really great exclusive.
Sounds good. And now I know that you're asked this all of the time, but let's be honest, like, is now the time that we should be buying, or can we get these deals like any other time of the year? Like, should we be panicking going, the only time I can grab a great deal is now through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, into the rest of the holiday season, or, when else should I be looking?
Oh, I always tell people every day is Black Friday. There are deals to be had all year round. Now, as I said earlier, there are some pretty good, pretty special deals available this time of year. But if you miss out, don't panic. You will find similar, maybe not as good, but similar deals all year round. And of course, at cnet.com/cheapskate, I give you those deals every single day of the year.
Sounds good. And I believe that you have a couple of extra shopping tips now for us.
I do. I know a guy who knows all the things about saving money, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and all the rest of the year. So take it away, that guy.
Hi, everyone. Rick the Cheapskate Broida here to talk about everyone's favorite holiday. No, not Arbor Day. I'm talking about Black Friday. That's the day when all the stores have the best sales of the year. And don't forget Cyber Monday, the other day when all the stores have the best sales of the year. With prices already cut to the bone, you can't possibly save even more money, can you? Well, you can, and I'm here to tell you how. When you buy something on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or pretty much any other day of the year, always loop in a cashback service like Ebates, Be Frugal, or Top Cashback. These sites offer cash rebates at thousands of stores, and you get those savings even if you're already using a cashback credit card. It doesn't matter if you're buying an item that's on sale for the lowest price ever, you'll save a percentage of the final purchase price. It might be 2%, 5%, or even more, but the more you shop, the more it adds up. It's easy to get swept up in all the Black Friday, Cyber Monday hype because stores promise the best deals of the year. But are they really? You can find out by installing Honey, a free browser plugin that can show you product price histories at stores like Amazon, Best Buy, Target, and Walmart. Better still, Honey can automatically locate coupon codes for thousands of stores, meaning you might be able to get an even better deal than you thought. There's another browser add-on that I recommend, and it's called PriceBlink. Like Honey, it can find coupon codes for you while you shop, but it will also compare prices at other stores. So if you're shopping for, say, a smartwatch at Amazon, PriceBlink will alert you if that same product is available for less elsewhere. PriceBlink and Honey also have wish list features, meaning if Black Friday and Cyber Monday aren't producing the price you want, you can set up an alert and they'll notify you if and when a price drop occurs. So there you go, fellow cheapskates, the tools you need to save even more money during these major shopping holidays.
Man, that guy seems smart.
I'm just going to say that. Hey, here's a tool I need to be better during the holidays, and that is trust in all these different platforms. You use them all. You mentioned a couple there, Ebates. You mentioned PriceBlink, Honey, a couple others. How do these sites, first of all, why and how do they do what they do? I'm not a big believer in commercial altruism. Are they getting kickbacks from retailers or manufacturers? Are they selling my data to the Russians? What are they doing?
Oh, not mention the Russians, Comrade Dooley. No, never mind.
Commander Brodsky.
So these sites make money basically by directing you to where you're going to shop. So a cashback site, you start at the cashback site, you click through to Target or whatever the store is. That site gets a little bit of a kind of referral commission for sending you there, and they kind of share that commission with you. And so that's how they make money. That's how they're able to pass along these rebate savings to you. That's the high level overview of it. I've used them for years successfully. I don't get a lot of spam in my inbox. I really think that if you want to save extra money, a cashback service is absolutely a must. It's found money, it's free money. So I don't have any privacy concerns or data concerns or spam concerns, anything like that. You have my blessing.
Any more than being on the internet, right? Okay, let's get down to some more questions and tweets. Lexi, what do you got queued up?
We got so many questions. You can give us a call on 800-999, 900-CNET, 888-900-CNET, and we are going to go to Alan from Texas. Now, Alan, thanks for hanging on the line. You are on CNET Live. You had a question about phones.
I do. Thank you for taking my call. I want to know if I've got an Apple iPhone 7 and I've got about a year paid off on it, am I better off trading it in and getting an upgraded model but now carrying more payments, or just letting this phone go out for about 3.5 years and then starting over at that point?
That's a great question. I think a lot of people are in a very similar predicament to you, and when it comes to phone upgrades, it sounds like you have a couple of years left. And how is the 7 treating you? Are you feeling like you want an upgrade? Because the 7 is still a pretty proficient phone in many respects, especially if you upgrade to iOS 12 and you put all of those benefits there on. So unless you want the the benefits of a faster processor or a slightly better camera, maybe it's not quite the time to upgrade for you. But I don't know, how is it feeling for you?
Oh, the phone's operating great. It's fine. And that's also my question. My quandary is, if the phone wasn't doing well, then it'd be a no-brainer to go ahead and switch. But I think it's doing great. What you don't know is what it's going to do tomorrow.
Right. That's a good point. I mean, the thing is, though, we obviously get really caught up in the latest and greatest, and it's really easy to do that. I feel like if the phone is still performing exactly as you want it to, and you've got, the latest operating system, you're keeping it up to date, then maybe it's not quite worth updating. I don't know, Cooley, do you have any thoughts?
Do you have Apple Care on that phone?
I do.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter, in many respects, what is coming up in the future. In terms of a lot of things that are covered, you're covered. You're already paying that in there, so it's already part of your expense of having the phone. I'm big on letting the phones go longer in the tooth. The trend used to be a lot of people used to change a phone every 19 months a few years ago. Now it's extended out to, I think, 32 months is the average ownership of a given phone by most of us. That's in the U.S., I think. So we've all gotten the idea that, you know what? The phones are only incrementally better as they move forward. They have some amazing new features. They have a notch that does this or that. Or they have the cameras are getting better. But we haven't gotten to that point now where we've had a major breakthrough that says, I've got to get off this 7. I'd sit on it for a while.
Until there's a foldable phone from Apple, then maybe.
Right.
You've got a couple years.
You've got a couple
years left in that 7, Alan. Thank you so much for
I'd
calling.
sit on it, yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's go to a question that I think is tailor-made for Dan in New York. This one is coming in from John in California. Hi, John. Welcome to CNET Live. Hello,
Turn
John.
down your radio.
Hello, you're on the air. You're on the air on CNET Live. Turn down your volume. And you had a question about laptops for us.
Turn down the volume there, buddy. All right, we'll come back to him.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you, John. All right. Let's jump to another one. We had Jim in Michigan as well, representing Michigan today. We have a budget laptop question from you, Jim.
Yes, I'm just looking for a recommendation for a budget laptop that has a solid state.
Combination of a low price and a solid state drive. I think a lot of the nicer Chromebooks out there are probably a good choice, especially for a kid. I like the Samsung Chromebook Plus, which is under $500, has a nice solid state hard drive and a touchscreen and a stylus, and even runs Android apps in addition to regular Chromebook stuff. That's been my budget go-to choice for a while now.
And what are you looking for in terms of an operating system in this new laptop? Are you Mac, Windows, or are you open to Chromebook and Android?
I go either one. Yeah, he's not locked into anything.
Okay, that's interesting. So you've got a lot of flexibility. So the world's his oyster, right, Dan? I mean, he can shop aggressively on our list of the best budget laptops, which, as you mentioned, starts with Chromebook, Samsung Chromebook Pro at $550.
Yeah, and you can go into configurators on any of these websites.
Yeah,
on any of these
and get it where you want it. Okay. All right. So go to CNET.com, look at best laptops, easy to find right in our navigation there on the site, and then you can look at the budget tab, and we always filter the best budget laptops right there, and that is constantly updated as well.
Great. Thank you for calling, Jim. And just quickly, let's jump to CNET Live, the hashtag on Twitter. If you can take a look at some of the tweets that are coming up. We have something on any deals on the 70+ inch OLED screens this season. That is from Matt on Twitter. How about that, Katz? 70+ inches OLEDs. What's hot there?
Does Matt consider $7,000 a deal? That's what I've seen.
Do you consider $7,000 a deal?
I don't know if he's there, but no. Right now we're recommending 75-inch TV from Vizio that's around $2,000. So if you're going to go OLED, you're going to pay whatever that is, 2.5 times as much. Unfortunately, LG has not deigned to make their 77-inch size affordable in the least. And they don't really need to because they're kind of in a class by themselves. So I think for the foreseeable future, it's going to be 2 or 3 times more expensive than a similar LCD TV that performs really, really well, like this Vizio P series that I like a lot at 75 inches.
All right, Katz, let's stay on this vein now and go from some of the largest, some of the priciest, some of the best technology. Bring me down now to a value set that has a really good price and good features, especially around OTT and streaming. What do you got there? Because that's kind of the sweet spot. I want a good price, I want good streaming built in, and I also want it to be a decent size. Maybe you've got a brand that isn't household name.
Let me think, Brian. Streaming, really good price, really good picture quality. Maybe not the name you might have heard of, but maybe one of the biggest, fastest growing names. In fact, longtime best-selling Amazon brand is TCL. So this is the Roku TV that we've been recommending for a long time. But this year, TCL really hit it out of the ballpark with their 65-inch 65R617 Roku TV. There's also a Best Buy version that's actually even less expensive. That thing is $900 right now at Best Buy for 65-inch TV. And let me tell you, for that money, the picture quality is amazing. So this has that full array local dimming I talked about earlier with the Vizio E series. This thing's even brighter. The picture quality is it's really, 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 really good. It's impossible to spend less money on a 65-inch TV than $900 and get a picture anywhere near this good. There's plenty of TVs that are in that same ballpark that cost a lot more from other brands, including Vizio, and Samsung and LG, the usual suspects. But if you're, really want to spend as little money as possible for an excellent picture, in side-by-side comparisons, this thing really knocked it out of the park. So the other thing, as Brian alluded to, is streaming. So you can always buy a 4K HDR streamer, hook it up to any TV, get really good performance from that. But Roku is my favorite streaming system, and this TV has Roku built in. So it's very, very simple to immediately just pick up this simplified remote and start streaming 4K, HDR, Netflix, Vudu. All the great streaming services are right there, and it's super simple. Roku TV puts your inputs, your game consoles, your cable box right on the same level. They almost treat them like an app on the home screen. They're the first to really do that. So it's a very simplified, easy to use experience and a very powerful TV that does, again, superb picture. That also comes with 55-inch for $600. But really, I love that 65-inch size when you're going to step up to this level of picture quality.
Okay, yeah, and I love the Roku integration. Roku has been our favorite since the dawn of OTT platforms. I mean, it's just been always the best realized, about as well as anyone is going to do in breadth of content, easy to use remote. I'm so glad to see it in a TV that you like. Lexi, let's go from the biggest screens that we're talking about now to the smallest screens, smartwatches. You've got some picks in there.
I do. So we often get caught up in talking about the latest and greatest, which is totally fine. But for many of us, it's not quite within our reach. So I wanted to talk about some of the fitness trackers. So obviously Apple has the Apple Watch Series 4, which is the latest one that's come out just a couple months ago this year. But I want to recommend the Apple Watch Series 3. It is last year's model. Now, you're not actually losing out that much in terms of the features and the specifications, especially once you put Watch OS 5.1 on there. Now, the Watch 3 versus the 4, it's a slightly smaller screen in terms of you get less of the actual content on the screen itself. You don't get things like the fall detection and obviously the EKG sensor, which hasn't even been activated yet on the Series 4. But everything else you're getting pretty much on par. You're getting roughly the same amount of battery life, unless you're doing epic 6-hour hikes, in which the Series 4 will be your go-to. And you're getting all of the same kind of functionality that you would expect thanks to watchOS 5. So I think that one is a pretty no-brainer when it comes to the Apple Watch. If you are wanting one with GPS and LTE connectivity, which was the Series 3, which is the one that set it apart from all of the previous Apple Watches. So I think if you want LTE and GPS and you're not ready to spend $500 on the Apple Watch Series 4, then the Series 3 is the one to look at. And speaking of fitness trackers, an alternative to the Apple Watch, if you are platform agnostic and you want to switch between iOS and Android, or if you are just on Android, you can consider something like the Fitbit Versa. And this is the one to get if you want all of that battery life. So you get about 4 days of continuous use out of this. And what I really like about the Fitbit is its extra fitness features. Say if you want to do some sort of fitness tracking and then also have personalized workouts, you can actually use the Coach app, and it gives you step by step a lot of those workouts that you need to do. Say it says like do 5 jumping jacks and then do 5 planks. I mean, it's torturous to see that on your wrist and not having a personal trainer shout it in your ear, but I think it's quite nice to actually to have it there. As you can see now on the screen, you can have things, it indicates all sorts of little videos and tells you how to do things. So I like that about the Versa. And of course, 4 days of battery life. You just cannot beat that.
And under $200.
Under $200 now. And there'll be more Black Friday deals coming out. So that's a one to look out for.
That's such a smart insider's pick, because a lot of folks look at smartwatches and they get a little bit put off by the price, especially since they're still kind of forming their role in a lot of people's lives. Still a little bit of a niche, but that one is a much safer pick, unless you absolutely can see why you're buying an Apple Watch. Like Lexi mentions, that one hits to the home run of fitness a lot better, or really well for its price, I should say. Let's go back to Ackerman here for another talk about what's going on with some laptop picks. We did touch on the new MacBook Air. That's how we kicked things off. If you're just joining us now on the show, we said, what's our best laptop to go to? Everyone seems to have a MacBook these days, and he goes with the new Air, which has needed a lot of improvements and got them. What else you got that you like out there, Dan?
Well, if you want something that's kind of the size and shape and general character of a MacBook Air, which is really the most useful overall laptop size for carrying around, but working all day at a desk, but either you don't want to spend as much as the new Air costs, that's $11.99 to start, and it goes up from there, or you just don't want a Mac. You're one of those anti-Apple people, or you need some specific Windows software. There are many reasons. My current favorite alternative to that is another new laptop, and that is this guy right here. That is the Microsoft Surface Laptop 2. Now, the first generation of this Surface laptop, which unlike other Surface products is not a tablet of any sort, it's just a plain old laptop, I thought was okay. It was a good first step. The second generation one is even nicer. It's got a 13.5-inch screen. It's got current 8th gen quad-core processors versus only dual-core in the new MacBook Air. So this is actually going to be faster, and it just kind of looks cool. It's got a nice, clean look, and they even managed to fit in a good old-fashioned USB-A port. You're not stuck with USB-C on this, although you don't have any USB-C, so you really have to pick your poison there. The nice thing is this guy starts at $999, which is what the old MacBook Air used to start at, and apparently Microsoft's store, they have a store, the Microsoft store is going to have $300 off on some configurations of this, maybe not the cheapest one, on or around Black Friday. We know the number, but we don't know exactly which configurations are going to have that deal. But that's a nice chunk off on something that just came out like last month.
Yeah, nice machine, really nice machine there. They've really started to focus and hone on getting into the real market and staying with it. You know, what do you tell people who go to the mall, if they still go to the mall, and they walk by the Apple store and it's like packed, and then they walk down to the Microsoft store that might be in the same mall, and you can fire cannonballs and not hit anybody. Should that put anybody off, or is that just a difference in retail presence?
I want to go find the mall that has the Apple store and the Microsoft store.
I've got one right out here.
And I think there's a good YouTube video in there somewhere. We're going to see what happens. They're not really in the store business. They're like showcase stores. There's a few of them. It took them forever to get one in New York. Now they finally have one, and it's actually kind of nice, and they sell a lot of other stuff too. They sometimes have good prices on stuff, but you can usually get the same prices online. I think they do more They service more online in the Microsoft Store than they do in the store.
Okay, and I want to mention to people, for years now, I've been running Windows on a MacBook Air with Boot Camp, which I'm always surprised how few people I run into who do that. Whenever I have my machine at a conference or something and people say, wow, you're running Windows on there, is that Parallels? I go, no, it's Boot Camp. It comes with Mac OS, and I've never met anyone else who's doing it.
Me.
You?
Me,
Good.
yeah,
There's two of us. We're the two boot campers.
Me too, Brian. So,
Okay, there's three. All right. Well, there's I should mingle in higher socioeconomic strata, and I'd meet more people who do this. But the thing is, it's a really good way to run Windows, not just a kludgy way to run Windows, which it is not at all. And I want to tell folks that, so if they're trying to struggle between these two camps, you can have it all. On Mac hardware, it runs Windows exceedingly well. In fact, I think I get a little bit better battery life running Windows on a Mac than running it in Mac OS mode, which of course it retains. Okay, thanks guys. Good thoughts there on what's going on with some of the laptop picks. A lot going in there. If you have questions for our panel, now we still have a little bit of time in the show here. 888-900-CNET. 888-900-2638, or Lexi's watching Twitter, where our tag is CNET Live. Hit us with that hashtag, and we'll see your question come in. Before, though, we get to any more questions, Bridget Carey has taken a dive into this year's tech toys, and I mean a dive. She turned herself into an elf and got to work. Take a look if you dare.
Oh, hey folks, what's up? Bridgie the Elf here, senior toy maker at Santa's Workshop. So, I hear you want the inside scoop on what toys are going to be hot this year. Well, let me tell you, all the high-tech stuff sure is changing the game for us toy makers. It's making things way more complicated. I mean, everything now is packed with motion and touch sensors. Some even answer to voice commands. Just check out Zoomer, the playful pup. Roll over. Oh, there you go. Good boy, good boy. Do you have to go pee? And then there's For Real Ricky, the trick-loving pup. Now, as his name suggests, he does do tricks. Get it! You can feed him, and he poops out the treats. You know, robots may be getting more advanced, but trust me, a pooping toy never goes out of style. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Hatchimals. Well, these mystery toys are still hot, and the new ones are these babies you have to help hatch out of their eggs to find out the gender. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? Aw, it's a more complicated Furby. And I do mean complicated. Just look at this list of things you have to study to know how to raise a little fur ball. Now, if you want a real dinosaur to train, check out this clever girl. Alpha Training Blue. She's got everything a kid wants to pretend they are a Jurassic World Velociraptor trainer, because you have to do certain combo moves with the motion sensor clicker to level up your relationship. And you can control it like a puppet. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want something bigger? Oh, we can go bigger. Hey, bring in Scout. This is the first Kid Trax Rideables. It's a country-loving pony named Scout. It's like a Power Wheels Jeep merged with a Disney animatronic robot. This 70-pound pony has fully motorized eyes, ears, and head, and of course, wheels on the feet to ride it around. There are 100 sounds and movements. There's a rechargeable 12-volt battery, and there are 2 forward speeds, 1 backward speed, and it can go up to 4 miles an hour. Scout is smart to know when you feed it treats and when you brush its hair. Now that's how tech puts a new spin on playtime. I better clean this stuff up before Santa gets back. Excuse me.
Wow. There is something so wrong with tech toys. I'm just putting it out there. Hey, okay, wow. Those are disturbing. The one that poos and the other one that pees? I got one that does that. He's called Charlie. He's a cat. So if you want to have a real animal, go get an animal. Don't get one with batteries and a remote control. Good grief. Okay, that was unsettling.
It reminds me of those toys from the 80s. Remember when they had the actual babies? But now they're
Yeah.
midget pets. There were babies that you would feed and then they would, you know,
the
do their
egg is
thing.
wrong. The egg is real wrong. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's get back to some calls and tweets, Bridget.
We got so many questions coming in. Thank you to everyone who's called and tweeted in. Let's jump to Kevin in Michigan, who has a question for the. There's a computer for $99. Kevin, what is this all about?
Yeah, I was just wondering, the Walmart $99 laptop for Black Friday, is that good for 10-year-olds?
Let's see.
I'm going to have to look and see what that is. Does anybody have...
Trying to pull it up now here.
Yeah, so am I.
$99 laptop, Black Friday.
Chromebook.
Okay.
Rick,
That's actually useful info.
Rick, are you aware of this machine, $100 laptop, Walmart?
I'm going to go ahead and say that anything for a 10-year-old is going to be fine.
I'm going to disagree there.
They're
Kids
not
are
too
very
discerning or
savvy.
demanding.
Hang on, Beach has got it pulled up. Can we go on the main screen with that again, Beach? We can try and take a look if we can at some of the specs.
This is it. I don't know if this is
yeah,
it.
this has to be it.
Tablet
it's
with
$100. This has to be the one. Smart Tab 10. So it's a 10-inch, 2-in-1 tablet with keyboard. So it's a convertible for $100. I'm going to try and see. Scroll down. Let's look for some specs. We're just doing this kind of by the seat of our pants here. Anything more further down?
I don't see.
Or is there a
anything
specs
else, really.
tab? Go to
It's
the
kind of
top.
Other stuff.
Go to the top for a specs tab. Anything there? No. All right. So
Okay, I'm going to make an executive decision here and
Yeah.
say no. That's a hard pass. Now, $99 for a Chromebook you could probably get away with. That'll feel okay. This thing, any 10-year-old is going to throw it.
It'd be for my
right out the
niece,
window.
so I want to know. She likes to play games, so.
Yeah, no,
definitely
definitely
not,
not for that.
No.
100% no. I wouldn't pay 99 cents for that.
Now,
Yeah.
I'll say for games, how
I'm
about
gonna
a
be honest,
Fire
it's just gonna be-
HD10 for $100?
Yeah, Kindle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great idea, actually. Amazon has these great Fire tablets that get down. The 10-inch one gets down to $99. You can pay a couple more and get the kids version, which actually is great. Comes with a free subscription to a ton of cool games and stuff. My son is one of those, and he loves it. A lot of these doorbusters, the super cheap computers,
HDA is
laptops, and tablets that
$50
you see
for Black Friday.
Yeah,
I mean,
are not worth it. You may feel like you're saving a lot of money, but whatever you get, you're just going to throw away in like a week. A lot of them are just awful.
I found a refurbished Acer Chromebook for $85. So that's pretty.
There's an example of Chromebook fits in this.
The Chromebook you can get away with, and that's actually great for a kid too because they can't mess it up too much.
That's a great way to go. So Chromebook really makes sense there for what you're looking at instead of a $100 laptop. When you see too much for the price and it does everything, it's a convertible, it's got this, it's got that. It's like you got to realize that they had to cut corners on its durability. And with a kid, that's the wrong place to cut corners. So look at a Chromebook or look at the Amazon Fire tablet line. I think you're going to do a lot better there.
Also, Chromebooks are being widely used in schools now, more so than iPads. So,
yeah, they've taken over the education market lately, so you're going to get double duty there. Your child recipient's going to say, great, I don't just play on this, I actually can use it for school.
Great question. Thank you so much for calling, Jim. And now let's change tack and let's head over to, we have a question from Josh in Tucson who has a TV that is on the fritz. Hi, Josh. What's your question?
Yeah, I have a Vizio currently that the screen is randomly started blacking out on, and so after talking with their customer support, I just can't see buying another Vizio. And so I'm looking at some of the ones that Costco has, specifically the 70-inch LG, and it gets real mixed reviews online, and I figure I'd see what you guys have to say about it.
Well, we know the man with the answers. Katz, what do you think here?
Yeah, sorry to hear about that. I hear it a lot from people. My ex, whatever brand TVs on the fritz. I'll be honest with you. I hear it about LG and Samsung and TCL as well. Vizio's very popular along with those other brands. So reliability is very similar on these entry level TVs. If you don't want to buy a Vizio though. My next recommendation would be a TCL just because they do have the best picture quality for the money. They got that great Roku TV operating system I mentioned. 65-inch is generally where they max out. You want to go to 70, you are looking at probably an LG or a Samsung. And those guys, again, you're going to be paying a little bit more money for them. than you would for the equivalent Vizio. Your picture quality is not going to be that much better, but if your Vizio already died, then you get that peace of mind of that different brand. So go for it.
All right, thanks so much for calling, Josh, and best of luck with the new TV. Now let's jump to CNET Live on Twitter, the hashtag. If you can just take my screen, we've got a lot of questions coming in. So you don't have my screen? All right, well, I'll just read. I'll just read them then. So we have a question from Ken, who says, I'm looking for a tablet like the Asus ZenPad S310, the 9.7-inch. I want the memory, I want the fingerprint scanner, I want something around 9 to 10 inches. But do I need to wait for CES coming up? What do you think? I mean, Dan, I know this is a question tailor-made for you.
That's an interestingly specific question. CES is where you see a lot of new stuff, and ASUS always has a ton of new things to announce there. They usually don't come out right then. It's usually, take a look at them now, and then maybe in the spring, maybe in the summer you'll see them, especially from a manufacturer from ASUS that's not US-based. You see things, some things maybe right away, some things maybe in 3 months, 6 months. They often don't know. So if there's something specific you're looking for and you want to see if it's at CES, that's great and all, but don't expect to get it like mid-January as soon as the show is over.
Yeah, good point. A lot of this stuff shows up later. Occasionally, this stuff will show up much later, and so CES isn't exactly retail availability of a lot of these products. It's announcement for weather vane for what's coming up in 2019.
Exactly. And let's take a look again at CNET Live. So many questions coming in. Thank you to everyone who has tweeted us a question and, of course, called too. Joe says, what is the best deal on a dash cam? Are any of the high-end brands holding sales?
Good question. The Pioneer that I showed you earlier, that one was $108, so not exactly the cheapest out there. You can find, here's the thing, a lot of the dash cams out there, like if I just go to Amazon right now and let me just search dash cam, and you're going to see a whole bunch of them come up. Here we go. And now let's look at our results, and here's a whole slew of these. You're not going to recognize almost any of these brands. Even the Vantrue we've got here isn't exactly a household name among big CE makers. It's a really good dash cam. The thing about these is they're all universally very similar. The guts of them are not much different, and you're not risking a lot. At $40 to $60 is a sweet spot for a lot of these dash cams. I wouldn't feel terrible about going with any of them. I've tried a lot of them, and for the basic features, which is it will record a loop on as big an SD card as you put in. It will record when it gets bumped. It will record when the car is in standby mode, parked when it gets bumped, and it's HD. Those are kind of your four things that make up a standard dash cam. They all do that. So you're not going to go wrong. I think a lot of these are actually pretty good for being decent. And then you get into the better ones like the Vantrues, the Pioneers. There's some connected ones that are hundreds of dollars that use 4G cloud right now to do their upload. That's a different market.
All right.
On sale all year round, by the way. I see dash cam deals all year.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
More calls. Let's jump in. We have a caller from Canada. This is Daryl on the line. You have a question about gaming. Hi, Daryl. What's your question? Hello, Daryl.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. You had a question about gaming consoles and subscription services?
Yeah, so I've seen you guys do some videos about classic consoles and mentioning them as not really being a rival to the subscription services that already offer classic games, right? So I'm trying to figure out which of the current consoles that I should get this year for Christmas for myself. And I was wondering, does Nintendo have something that is worth getting, or should I maybe go with the PlayStation or Xbox for their subscription services?
Good question. I actually haven't
true.
used any of the subscription services, but Dan, I know you have, so
Yeah,
I'll throw it to you.
Nintendo actually just launched their online subscription service. I think it's pretty inexpensive, $20 a year, something like that. And you get a couple of classic games with it, but it's more to allow you to play newer games online with other people. That's what all these consoles do. The PlayStation and the Xbox, you have to pay an annual subscription
I think
fee.
it's pretty inexpensive.
Oh, that was me again, coming back to myself. But with Xbox, you can also get the Xbox Game Pass, which gives you a big Netflix-like selection of games you can play on demand. PlayStation has something vaguely similar for older games, but with the regular things, PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live, you get like 1 or 2 free, usually pretty decent games a month you can download and keep as long as you remain a member. But I really think the hardware choice comes down to, number one, which platform has the games you want to play on it? Obviously, if you want to play Mario Kart and Zelda, it's clearly going to be the Switch, which is a great system. If you want to play that new Spider-Man game, then it's going to be the PlayStation. If you want to play, Fallout 76 or Red Dead Redemption 2, it's probably whatever your friends are playing on. So you can have that social utility, that shared experience of playing with them. They're frankly both very good. And I think there's a lot of comparable prices between them. If you want to go super, super, super high end, I will tell you one thing I've discovered, which is that if you're hooking it up to a big OLED 4K TV, everything like that, the Xbox One X, the premium version of that, is better than the PlayStation Pro, just in terms of the sheer horsepower it can kick out.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Dan. Good comprehensive answer there on that one, and thank you for the call. So now let's do a lightning round. We're running a little bit long on the show here. Let's go around the horn one more time and get any final picks. This is our mop-up round. Katz, what else you got in your bag for people to recommend?
This one's easy, $30. The Roku streaming stick. This is, again, I was talking about how great Roku is before. You add one of these things to your television. They also have a 4K version. It's a little more, but the basic $30 one gives you everything you want, also controls your television's volume and power. Boom. Dan, give me something.
True, everybody needs a Roku, but I'm going the other direction. I'm going $250 for the Anki Vector, which is the smart robot du jour. And they just today announced that Alexa integration is officially coming, I think, in mid-December. He's a smart robot already. He can answer, questions, tell you the weather. And I got to tell you, kids love him. I just put him down on the floor. He bleeps and bloops and follows him around for a few hours. I get some peace and quiet. It's fantastic. He wants to say hi. He's just waking up now.
Yeah, the Vector, they say it's the robot that doesn't want to take over the world. But I would add, but looks like it does. I mean, that's a mean, burly little thing.
But it's so small.
But it's so
away all day long.
He's so aggressive looking, little aggressive thing. I don't trust the little aggressive ones. All right, let's go to Broido. Give me a last deal or two. Rick, what do you got?
Okay, I got two for you, and they're virtually identical looking, aren't they?
Yeah.
So first up is the Tile. This is one of my favorite trackers now that they have solved the problem of the non-replaceable battery. The new Tile Pro lets you replace the battery as needed, so you don't have to send it back or swap it out for more money or whatever that crazy thing was. The Tile Pro 4-pack plus a free Echo Dot is $100 as an exclusive deal for CNET viewers today. That's great gifts for you, great gifts to give away. So definitely hop on that deal. And then this is the new Mighty Vibe, which is a portable Spotify player. It looks just like the old iPod Shuffle. I'm surprised more people don't know about this product, but it's one of the only ones that I know of that lets you take your Spotify playlists offline without you having to carry your phone around to the gym or out running or whatever. So it slurps up all of your Spotify playlists. You clip it onto your shirt or your belt or whatever, and you've got Spotify to go. This is the brand new Vibe. It comes in different colors. It has better battery life and Bluetooth range and all that good stuff. It's normally $86, but you can get it for $68.80. And because I know Bonnie is over there flipping her lid, here's where you can get all of the deals we talked about today at cnet.com/hot-deals. Now that's not hot-deals. You don't spell it out. It's hot, then a hyphen, then deals. Everything, all the deals I shared with you today, you can find them right there with all the codes and URLs that you need.
Nice. Okay, is that Spotify player, real quick, is that a connected device or it caches music on it?
No, it stores music on it. You set it up via Wi-Fi to your phone or your tablet, whatever. It blasts all your playlists to it, and then you take it offline.
Interesting. Okay, going back to the future on that one. Okay, Lexi, you get the last word. What do you got for us?
We have one more from Dan, though. We had to sneak one in from him,
well,
though.
I'm going to get into the hot hyphen business. I'm going to start selling hot hyphens. It's going to be great. We haven't talked enough about STEM toys for kids and things that teach science and engineering. Nintendo Labo, which is those cardboard kits you get, and you build these real physical engineered devices that work with your Nintendo Switch is fantastic. There's a whole bunch of different kits, and they make all kinds of cool stuff. They're incredibly complicated in a way that really only kids can figure out. But every every time I've tried to put one of these together, it's been fantastically fun. And I'm just going to quickly say my new obsession when it comes to STEM stuff is 3D printing. I printed out this little holiday gift guide sign for us right here. I printed it up for people in the office all the time. I got a Monoprice. Monoprice makes cheap stuff. I got a $400 Monoprice 3D printer, and it is fantastic because kids can see how you design stuff in 3D and send it through the printer, how it gets assembled. I think it's a fantastic idea.
And then you can maybe program the robot to throw it at your head. It's great.
Exactly.
Great, yeah.
Well, all that learning makes you hungry, right?
Yeah.
If you think about, mealtime, pizza is everybody's favorite food, hands down. I know it's my personal favorite. So I have just discovered this machine. It is $800. Ignore the price.
Oh,
maybe it will go
okay.
on sale. But this is an amazing thing. It is from Breville. It is a smart oven. It's called the Pizzaiolo, and it actually has a range of temperatures. So it can go do anything from a deep dish Chicago-style pizza to New York to even a wood-fired simulated pizza. It gets up to 750 degrees Fahrenheit, around 400 degrees centigrade, which is something that just normal ovens can't do. You put a pizza in and you pull it out, and within like 2 minutes, it is just like a wood-fired pizza. I gave it to people around the office. We're probably going to have pizza for lunch because this thing is amazing. Just look at that. Like, it's just making my mouth water right now. Looking at that, it's, wood-fired pizza without the wood and without the fire. And
you
it's
lost
just
me
in
at
your home.
$800, but then you got me
Yeah,
back
but
because
look
there's
at
a
the
knob that
pizza.
has the New York position.
Exactly.
So at least they know good pizza.
Exactly.
All right, I'm on the fence then. It's kind of got me going both ways.
Very
All right.
dubious of this.
Yeah. Well, you're in New York, of course. Come on, you have to be. All right, so thanks,
Get an easy bake oven.
Like the Bageltron?
That'd be Ray's Pizza. All right, so I want to thank everybody on the New York side, the Detroit side. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Katz. Thank you, Broida, for being with us and rounding out the show with me and Lexi today.
And for even more deals, make sure to check out our cnet.com/deals and our holiday gift guide, which is on your screen right there. And make sure to enter our competition to win the HP laptop. You go to cnet.com/HP giveaway, and you have up until November 30th to enter. So good luck. That is an HP Spectre X360 worth around $900. Thank you so much to everybody for watching, and happy holidays.
See you, everybody. Go win 11.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Pretty good.
Dan and I we're constantly fighting the urge to jump in.
Oh my goodness. We're trying to fight the urge to go.
It wasn't easy. I love having Cooley back.
Oh, wait, I gotta put my shoes back on. So we'll
Well,
keep them off at some point.
With Cooley around.
That's true.